It was a perfect night for the 49ers last night, and not so much for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers back in his hometown, but it certainly wasn't Mr. Rodgers' neighborhood last night. No Christian McCaffrey. What could go wrong? Here we go. Here's Rodgers' first completion as a Jet to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, it's a great throw and catch, but remember this theme. Tight window throws. Yep. There's no great scheming on that Jets offensive sideline.
Yes, they didn't scheme anyone open all night long. They just happen to have a dynamic star in Garrett Wilson who gets open again here on third down.
That's a nasty lower, and it's a great ball by Aaron Rodgers. Let him clear and then put that ball like a BB.
And then Breece Hall takes it in for a touchdown. He couldn't get anything going last night. The Jets' offensive line was mostly dominated.
After that play, though, you were so fired up at home. Like, they couldn't keep you. You were just fired up.
It was the best drive the Jets have had in 15 years. And then Jordan Mason happened, and D. Wood, it just never stopped happening.
Oh, man, listen, the 49ers imposed their will on that Jets defensive front.
Could Jawan Jennings be any more open than this, Domonique?
Schemed them wide open. They're eating that zone up. They're using misdirection, high-lowing them, and getting pretty easy throws.
And how about Deebo Samuel, Jeff, punching it in for the score?
This was after his hold, right? This is after his hold, and they feed him the rock. Come on. He knew what he was doing. He ain't no dummy.
Third quarter, again, they're scheming guys open. Look at Kyle Juszczyk running by himself.
Yeah, I mean, I can't throw that well, but I can throw well enough to complete that one. It is a real nice luxury to have some easy passes throughout the course of the game.
And then here comes Mason. Again, I spent most of last night trying to figure out if it was Jordan Mason or Mason Jordan. One way or another, he dominated the game. 147 yards, the biggest night he's had since high school. In the meantime, I'm not kidding. Aaron Rodgers, there's his first interception.
Again, no scheme right there. Tight window throws. Yep. Aaron, beat him with your arm. Garrett Wilson, beat him with your quickness. It's not going to work every time.
So you're suggesting that the coaching staff was not exercised brilliance last night.
Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett are not doing a great job.
Now here's what they're good at. Aaron Rodgers drawing the man offside. He's got the free play. That's Allen Lazard who chose to catch that one. So that's Rodgers' first touchdown as a Jet. But this was San Francisco's night all the way around. This is a fourth down play with the Jets clinging to whatever shred of life they had left. That's when I went to sleep. So the 49ers, they win it 32-19. Here's Aaron after.
We expect greatness when we step on the field. There were moments, for sure. Moments that felt really good, but not sustained. I think a lot of stuff's correctable, which is great for coaches, frustrating for players because we know how close we were/are. But no time for that. We're going to move on to Tennessee quickly, and then we got a game 4 days after that. So tough opener for us, travel-wise and schedule-wise. No excuses. We got to play better. I got to play better. We'll bounce back.
They whipped our today, and that's the reality of it. And we got to find a way to get better. The great teams will bounce back from this, and that's what we plan to do.
We'll be better, 100%. Like I'm not worried. I mean, give San Francisco a lot of credit. I'm not worried offensively. I'm not worried defensively. We'll get it fixed.
So that's what he said. D. Wood, what do you say? As the former Jet at this table who had high expectations for this season and for this night, what went wrong?
The line of scrimmage. The trenches went wrong. 49ers completely dominated the Jets on both sides of the ball. Obviously, listen, when you're able to run the ball like that, it's a play caller's dream when you're living in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 3. Ooh. The whole playbook is at your disposal, and that was the case all night with Kyle Shanahan and that offense. And then on the Jets side of the ball, they couldn't establish Breece Hall at all. I felt like coming into the season, Breece Hall's going to be a big part of the success of the New York Jets offense. They couldn't run the ball. Aaron Rodgers, I thought for the first game since 2022, I thought he was okay.
But the problem is they're going to have to play at least 3 teams like this at the end of the year. And you're going to need some plays off. You're going to need some stolen plays. And you see the 49ers, they don't even want to get to third down. Yep. Aaron Rodgers is living in third and long. The 49ers are like, all right, first down, cool. Second down, let's go and get another set of downs. Let's get another set of downs. And then when they get in third down, it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5. Aaron Rodgers is living in 3rd and 7. And it's not because the O-line is weak. It's, to me, it was a tough watch last night because you watch those 49ers plays and you see their linemen have incredible leverage. Their tight ends and receivers and their blocks have incredible leverage. It's because they're doing misdirection and they're setting those plays up. The Jets are not doing the same thing. They're saying beat the man in front of you.
Right.
Sometimes you need some help beating the man in front of you, and you need your coaches, your quarterback to set those things up for you.
Yeah. The difference between, just to put a bow on that, the difference between the Jets run game and the 49ers run game, let's say they're going to run inside zone or outside zone to the left. If the 49ers feel like the team is going to sprint over and out leverage you, they will start that way and then bend the ball back. The Jets do not do that, right? They keep sticking that ball front side, stay in front side, get your head across. Look at the angles. Look at how easy this is.
Look at those blocks.
Hey, Wood and I are almost 50. We could block that. Like literally, that's how good. That's how well designed that play is. You think Deebo Samuel, perfect angle. Kittle, perfect angle. The backside guard and tackle, easy reaches. Trent
Double
Williams,
team on Quinn
and a double team on the front side. Like, it doesn't get any easier than that, y'all. And so Shanahan definitely had his way with that Jets defense. They will get better, I agree, but there was a lot of things that showed up. And I thought their offensive line, that being the Jets, they were not in sync. They looked slow, which does concern me because whether Aaron Rodgers was a problem or not, he's not young. And if their offensive line is slow, that's a double dip for a problem.
Yeah, I mean, not being in sync is fine. It's week one. There's a lot of teams that aren't in sync, a lot of position groups that aren't in sync. But you're talking about how the defense got out-schemed, right?
Yeah.
Like, aren't they supposed to be able to overcome stuff like isn't this like one of the elite defenses in the entire league on paper? Like, isn't part of the reason the Aaron Rodgers experiment in New York at age 40 is supposed to work because they have an elite defense that managed to win 7 games last year without any quarterback at all?
That's not part of the reason. That's all the reason why I had any confidence in this was we're not gonna ask Aaron Rodgers to be MVP Aaron Rodgers. For them to have won last night, they needed MVP Aaron Rodgers, and he's gone. That defense, I do think, against most teams will be talented enough to overcome, but not against. The problem is they're a championship aspirations team. So they're going to have to play a couple of teams like this where the talent's not going to be enough.
Can you imagine if Woody's dreams would have come true and Christian McCaffrey would have been there as well? Because you wanted them full strength. I heard you asking. I think BC had talked you up. You felt good about that. You felt good. Yeah, listen, that would have been a nightmare, even worse nightmare. That would have $180 running.
Why are you making that face?
Good call.
Because literally we go from the pancake segment where it was such a joyous occasion to watching the Jets just get manhandled. Like, as a former offensive lineman, and Jeff can speak to this, nothing brings us more joy than imposing our will on the man across from you. And to watch that Jets defense get totally manhandled on the road. I mean, there's going to be some soul searching on that plane ride back. Like, if we want to get to where we want to get to, like, we gotta look at ourselves first.
That's the whole lesson from last night, right? The Jets as a championship team with Aaron Rodgers is still a theoretical concept. And it sounds great and it looks great on paper. But right out of the gate, you get a team that was just in last year's Super Bowl. This is what you're trying to be. You got a long way to go to get there.
So it was a very bad night. And as I described it on Twitter last night, I'm not surprised the Jets lost. But you wanted to appear in the same weight class as one of the better teams in the NFL, maybe the best team or in the NFC or right up there with anybody. And for at least that one night, they most certainly did not. And I don't want to get too inside Jetsy here because you can get into a lot of specifics. But the reality is, one of the reasons that defense has been so good is because they had so many defensive linemen that they were rotating in and out constantly. Well, 4 of those guys aren't on the team anymore because they went out and traded for a 5th, Hassan Reddick, who had the same impact on that game that I did last night. And candidly, no one had a better night than he did last night. So Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great night last night, but Robert Saleh had a terrible night last night. Joe Douglas, the Jets general manager, had a worse night last night, and their schedule is brutal. They have the short turnaround. They probably just landed from San Francisco. They go to Tennessee on Sunday, then they turn around and play a Thursday. They have 2 games in the next 9 days. If they don't win both of those, there are going to be a lot, and I do mean a lot, of questions asked and heat on the people making these decisions.
Even worse, see October 6th at Vikings. That game's in London. I mean, like, the opening part of the Jets' schedule is brutal.
Yep.
They're going to have to. I mean, they're going to have to weather it. This is life in a big city.
It's brutal from a timing standpoint,
Yeah.
but they were bad last year, so they got a pretty
nice schedule.
I mean, listen, as far as like the amount of games you got, but look at the quarterbacks that they're playing the next few games. Like it's manageable. I'm not going to get into this whole the world is coming crashing down, but you just got to have a sense of urgency.
This could be a moment you can look back on and realize that this is what the big boys do. We need to figure out how to get ready for those games, and it could be nice for them to get whooped like this start the season and do some soul searching and understand that the coaches have to go back and figure some things out. The players do too, and I think they're going to win a couple of these.
They'll be
next
favored
games.
They'll be favored in all those games you just until week 5 or 6. They'll be favored in every one of those.